Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Village of Gurnee Planning and Zoning Board meeting for this Wednesday, September 6th, 2023. Joanne, can we have a roll call, please?
Present.
Here.
Here.
Present. We do have a quorum. If everyone would please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag, States of America,
To the republic which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and
justice for all.
Okay. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the meeting that was held back on August 2nd. I did notice one thing. It's on pages aren't numbered. It's on page 4. In the middle of the page, it says that I opened the floor to the public, and there was nobody there. And at the bottom of the page, it says I opened the floor to the public again. So we just need to figure out at what point in time I opened the floor to the public for people that weren't here. Okay, anybody else have any changes or comments? If not, a motion to approve as amended would be appropriate. Move. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Campbell. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item is the approval of the minutes from the meeting that was held back on the 16th of August. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or changes? If not, a motion to approve as submitted would be in order.
So moved.
Got you. Second by Mr. Norndorf. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing request related to the proposed Texas Roadhouse restaurant to be located at 6060 Gurnee Mill Circle East. Tracy?
Emily Bernhall of Bernhall Development Services, on behalf of Texas Roadhouse, is requesting a special use permit to allow the following for a proposed Texas Roadhouse restaurant at 6060 Gurnee Mill Circle East. 1, LED that is outside of the sign area and independent of any information conveyed by an allowed sign and used as an architectural element on a building. And 2, sign area that exceeds the allowable limits. The village's sign code requires a special use permit for the proposed type of LED application and designates each 1 linear foot of LED equals 1 square foot of sign area. Texas Roadhouse is allowed a total 369 square feet of wall sign area. They are proposing 2 103 square foot wall signs reading Texas Roadhouse, one on the west wall and one on the south wall. Combined with the 348 square feet of LED tubing, the restaurant will have 554 square feet of wall signs, which is 185 square feet of wall signs over the amount allowed by right. Please note that there is a window sign on the east wall which meets code and is not counted toward allowed signs, wall signs. And in addition, there's an 8 square foot takeout directional sign that is also located on this wall, and due to its size and location is not counted towards allowed wall sign area per the zoning administrator. The petitioner is in attendance to walk the PZB through their request and answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. At this time, as this particular item is a public hearing, I would request anybody that's going to testify or ask questions to please stand to be sworn in. Okay, at this time, I'll turn the floor over to the petitioner. If you could please use the microphones at the center of the room, and just for the record, state your name and affiliation.
Good evening. My name is Emily Bernal with Bernal Development Services. I'm a consultant at Texas Roadhouse, and thank you so much for having me here this evening. I have a kind of a short presentation. I do have a PowerPoint with some slides. Tracy, I don't know if you're going to click me through it, but Really, just, you can keep going. This is just the existing conditions right now. This is an aerial photo. They're looking to develop kind of the, within the parking field of the Texas Roadhouse, or excuse me, Toys R Us building. Next slide. This is just the current existing conditions. Next slide as well is showing that as well. So as Tracy had mentioned, the special use request for you tonight is actually, we're actually requesting a special use for the use of the LED accent band. And then our special use permit request is for allowing us to exceed the maximum allowable square footage on the front elevation, which is facing the private drive, left elevation facing east. This is currently the site, or excuse me, it's a sign location / site plan. For your reference, just again, the sign A down at the bottom.
Sure, I'll just, let me give you the hand.
So anyway, the private one sign in question. Okay, sure, no, it's fine. So sign A is the one sign, again, that's exceeding the allowable area here at the 103 square feet. Sign B is also that, same, actually the same square footage for both of these signs. The difference is the LED, and the LED is reflected as, on this exhibit as like the blue line, and it wraps around the front of the, like basically the front of house for the building. So in this, so this representation is really kind of showing graphically where these are going to be located. Again, on their left elevation, sign B, they consider the south, or their front elevation is sign A. So those are the two signs in particular that they're asking for the special use for, and then as well as the blue banding, the LED accent band. So go ahead, you can go ahead.
You can keep it.
Oh, I can't. So these are the proposed sign elevations, just for reference again. This exhibit will show basically the black and white image, really kind of highlighting the sign. Again, sign type A is kind of just their standard prototypical sign with the Texas, their state with the little hat and the roadhouse. And this again is the front elevation facing private drive. Again, it's the one that is exceeding the code. The side elevation here, which basically shows the window sign, and the other to go pick up window, or excuse me, to go pick up location directional sign is also on this right or side elevation. The next slide will show the sign B, if you recall from the site plan itself. Again, it's another 103 square foot sign. And on this elevation, the just for reference as well, the LED actually is 80, the square footage of the LED on this side is 88. And you can tell from the other elevation here, there's no signage, there's no LED listed, or excuse me, used on the rear elevation at all. This is really, again, the LED itself is just on the front of house or the front of the building. And just for reference, Tracy, can you go? Apologize. That front elevation, the front elevation that we talked about, that sign A, the 103 square sign, the LED on this particular elevation is a little bit more than the that left elevation. This actually calculates out to 72. So some of these numbers I'm throwing out is kind of how we arrive eventually at the overage that we're requesting. So you can toggle. This now at this point, this little image is just kind of capturing just where the LED is located. Kind of hard to see, but basically this in particular is just a kind of a 1-inch band. It's just again used as an accent. The LED is a low wattage. It's not flashing, pacing, or animated. And actually, as part of the building itself, when the store closes, usually an hour and a half after store closing, the lights go off, so all of this will be turned off. So it's not something that stays on 24 hours a day. So the store hours for this.
Excuse me, sir. I'll open to the floor of the public later.
Sorry, I didn't hear, so.
No, it's usually an hour and a half after close. So for just for reference, Texas Roadhouse is a predominantly evening establishment. It is open typically from 4 to 11 Monday through Thursday, then 4 to 10 Monday through Thursday. 4 to 11 on Fridays. Saturday, 11 to 11, and Sunday, 11 to 10. So usually thereafter, it will be turned off. So it's not, again, they don't keep it on 24 hours. Everything goes off, the site lighting, the building lighting, the signage, all of that stuff is turned off after that store manager leaves for the evening. So Tracy, you want to go through? These are just some specifications, as I mentioned, of the LED. Again, it's non-blinking or chasing. It's really used as a building accent. The dimensions are listed there for you as well. It's really kind of a very small, thin white band. These are just photos of completed locations. I put this in because, again, the accent band is always difficult to kind of see and make out on our elevations. But you can see just up at the top here is where what we're referring to is just that little white box that outlines the wall parapet and the signage. And I just have a couple locations where you can see what it kind of looks like completed. But again, this stuff, as I mentioned, it will be turned off once the store manager leaves for the evening. But that's kind of what it'll look like when it's completed. And so that kind of concludes my presentation. So certainly here to answer any questions you may have. But it's a pretty straightforward.
Okay. Just so you know, you'll need to use the microphones back there when you answer the questions. I'll go ahead and start. Candidly, I was a little frustrated that we didn't have some color renderings like were in your presentation, but I did Google some locations, and I'm personally okay with the accent lighting. I kind of view it more as accent to the facade of the building as opposed to a signage. So, anybody else? Dave?
Yeah, my only other additional comments, and I agree with your assessment, Chairman Sula. I mean, for me, I look at really a couple of key things. Number one, the fact that it's accent, not part of a primary sign, no motion, no changes to it. This proposed location is basically buried within a very intensive commercial district, C6. And so I look at those sorts of things when I consider potential impacts on surrounding properties. I always kind of keep an eye, to where residential is relative to things. Yeah, so I feel this is a relatively low impact.
Okay. All right.
Important features.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, I was just coming back from up north and passed by the roadhouse over in Ocean, and the signage was okay. That I didn't have a problem with the accent lighting on it. It actually made the theme of the restaurant, did what it was supposed to do. Actually drawed my attention to it. I'm like, yeah. So there, I have no objections.
Can you just go back one slide, Tracy?
Slide.
I believe your indication that this is indicative of what it would look like.
Yeah.
I guess that would be the Gurney Mills Circle East elevation and then the front elevation. Not that one, but I think
That's
that's the front end elevation.
Correct.
And the second to last slide would be the Gurney Mills East elevation, right?
That side right there is what would be facing the private drive. That is what they consider their front elevation.
Uh-huh.
And so with this location, let me just double check, because I think the doors are opening. Let's see, let me look at my plan really quick. Apologize. Got my site plan. Goodness. Sorry.
Back towards Toys R Us.
Yeah, so the doors, actually, if you go toggle through those photos, those doors are actually facing the parking field. That would be facing the parking
East.
field. So
Facing
it's
East.
That's facing east?
Yeah,
East.
that would be facing east. Yeah, in this location. So what is Gurney Mills is actually just the that's the front elevation, but that sign itself will be kind of replicated on the side elevation that's facing Gurney Mills.
Okay.
So I don't think I have a side elevation in this particular presentation. This really, honestly, on that side is just basically you'd have some windows. There's an emergency exit, and then there's landscaping, and then there's the dumpster enclosure on that elevation.
Okay. And I think there was also reference that this, and I Googled it as well, since we didn't have the pictures, but the sketches are fine. This is indicative and consistent with the registered platform
Correct.
for
Yes.
Texas.
This is very consistent with their trademark registered ID. This is, what they're proposing here is not really unlike anything that they don't have anywhere else in the country. So this is very consistent with what's existing nationally, yes.
The exception is just because of the two.
Yes.
Okay.
Because of the way the ordinance is written, it's considered a sign.
Considered the sign.
And it exceeds the square
Understood.
footage.
Thank you.
Leanna? Nope. At this time, I'll open the floor to the public. If anyone has any questions, if you could please go to the microphone and state your name and address for the record and address your questions to us, and then we'll deal with it the best we can. Yeah, excuse me, sir, you need to go to the microphone.
Good evening, gentlemen, gentle lady. I'm sorry, Jim, for interruption while she was presenting things.
It's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And your name is, sir?
Yeah. My name is Jay Patel. I am the owner of the next adjacent property, Comfort Inn. And it's a hotel, and definitely it's just next to the new construction going on. We always welcome new businesses in Gurnee, so welcome them first. Still, I have some serious concerns or objection, whichever way you can use it, that this illuminated light, LED lights, if they are blinking or if they are anyway too much taking attraction, then at night, my guest might be definitely affected. So is there any way we can put limit on time that after 11 or something, because normally Roadhouse is closing at 10 o'clock. So most of the restaurant, I know, you can check on Google, they are closing at 10. So if you can close something by 11, especially too much light, I don't know how much intensity of this and how much it is going to affect my windows. But I got the map, and my all 8 suites and everything are on this side, So ground floor is not going to be any problem, but the upper 2 floors are definitely. And I just read that it is not a blinking sign, so that's good part. Only thing, how much it will intensify to affect my rooms, on the windows. So I have no idea that. So that's why I'm here to express my serious concerns, and if I can get the answer or put some kind of limit on the time, that if they close at 11, all the striking lights, then it will be okay.
Do you have any other questions, sir?
No, that's only my concern, because
Okay.
my half of the property is on this side. So.
Okay, all right, thank you. Excuse me, I just have to go through the formality of everything. Okay, but sir, you're finished, correct?
Thank you for
Okay,
listening.
thank you. I'm going to close the floor to the public, and Emily, if you could please just restate, I think in your testimony you stated that the lights aren't flashing or anything like that.
No, they're not animated, blinking, or chasing. It's just an architectural accent. But actually, I just pulled up while you were presenting and asking questions. The rear of is what will actually facing the company, so you won't see the LED. That you won't you really if you go back to the site.
First light,
So here, this is the rear of the building here.
Oh, excuse me, you need to use the...
Sorry.
So in the rear of the building, so the front, so you will not, so you're up here. Oh, I'm sorry, jeez.
Too much light here.
You're, right, you're, correct, you're over, right, you're building in your tenants. They, correct, and so also too, the retail too, that's there, will be obstructing that building as well. Nothing is on that side or on the rear. So the blue, see the blue, that is the LED. So it's fronting that private drive and fronting Grand Avenue, I guess is the best way to describe where that is. So all that whole rear side of that Texas Roadhouse doesn't have that LED banding. So. Oh, I hear you. No, I know. Oh, absolutely. No, and I totally understand that. But good news is, again, really, it's not on the outside of the building. And then, yeah, we obviously have the other retail user there that's going to be blocking that side as well. So it'll even, so, you're right, right. Right. And you won't see it on it. Honestly, you will not see it from there because it's not even facing the Comfort Inn. So.
What time normally?
10 or, well, so again, during Monday through Thursday, it will close at 10. So usually it takes them, I don't know, an hour and a half maybe to clean the store, kind of prepare for the next day. And then as the manager's leaving, the signage and site lighting turn off. So,
Excuse me, if, we're not supposed to have dialogue between the public and the petitioner.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, so if,
I didn't know the procedure. I'm honestly saying sorry.
and I'm all for getting all your questions satisfactorily answered, but I just need you to follow the protocol. If you have any other questions, I'll open the floor to the public again. You need to go to the microphone, address them to us, and then we'll ensure that they get answered. Okay?
Sorry again.
Okay.
I'm first time in one-to-one here.
I understand. That's why I'm explaining the process to you, sir.
No
Okay.
problem.
Okay.
so I hope that kind of answered the question in terms of the location of where this is relative.
Yeah, my only concern is the business because 50% of my room lights are on this side and it shouldn't be affect my, it goes into the window lights and people will complain that, oh, there is too much lights and we cannot sleep and that kind of my concerns are.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to close the floor to the public. Thank you. All right. Any other questions or comments from any of the commissioners? If not, a motion in the form of a recommendation to the village board would be in order.
I can do.
Okay, Dane, go ahead.
Motion to forward a favorable recommendation on the petition of Emily Burhall with Burnhall Development Services LLC on behalf of Texas Roadhouse located at 6060 Gurney Mills Circle East for a special use permit to allow LED outside of the sign area and independent of any information conveyed by an allowed sign as an architectural element on a building in substantial conformance with the submitted plans, and motion to forward a favorable recommendation on the petition of Emily Burhall with Burhall Development Services LLC on behalf of Texas Roadhouse located at 6060 Gurney Mills Circle East for a special use permit to exceed the maximum sign area in substantial conformance with the submitted plans.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nordentoff. Any discussion or questions? Roll call, please.
Aye.
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 Aye. As staff has probably explained to you, we recommend to the village board will make their final decision, and Tracy or other members of the staff will keep you posted on the process. Okay, thanks and good luck. Next meeting on the calendar is September 20. I understand we have a public hearing?
Correct.
Okay, so be there. I'll open the floor to the public for comment for anything that was not on this evening's agenda. There is none. A motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, everyone.